Okay, this book right here called Cancer Resolution, written by Mark Lintern, is one of the greatest books ever written about cancer. He's a guy who had cancer himself. His girlfriend died of cancer. He was scared he was going to die, so he read all about it. And he figured out that the most likely cause of cancer is mitochondrial injury, and then he believes in addition to that you get a secondary fungal infection. This is very important, and there's a lot of the best cancer researchers in the world think he's right, and I think he might be right. For example, Dr. Lisanti thinks he's right, and he's the guy who wrote about the reverse Warburg effect, and he's currently trying antifungals for the treatment of cancer. And now I'm going to explain you a more in-depth look, because we all know, if you've read any of the papers, you know that fruits and vegetables lower the risk of cancer. Starches lower the risk of cancer. Fiber seems to have a bit of a unique effect, in addition to whatever plant foods it's associated with, to lower the risk of cancer. And I maybe figured out why. It's what I'm going to show you in this paper. Plus, there's going to be some cool stuff about fiber you're going to learn from this talk. It's good. Okay, so first of all, you need to know what ProPionAte is and what propane is. I'm going to explain that real quick here. There's really standard nomenclature for chemistry, and this is going to be easy. Don't wimp out. Don't be a wuss. Okay, 3 carbons these are called alkanes when you just have carbons connected to each other. 1 carbon is methane, 2 carbon is ethane, and you make ethanol. That's regular alcohol. Methane goes to methanol. That's wood alcohol. That'll kill you. Propane goes to propanol. You add a hydroxyl group. A hydroxyl group, OH, is an alcohol group. But if you add something instead of a hydroxyl group, you actually add a carboxyl group with a ketone here, 2 bonds to an oxygen, then you're going to get a propanoic acid. And that's what this is all about, because propanoic acid and propionate are the same thing. I'll show you on the next slide, I think is a picture of it. Yeah, here it is. So each angle is a carbon. So here's carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3. So that's the propane alkane skeleton. And then this is a carboxylic acid. When you have a ketone group, you can call it a carbonyl group, a double bond to an oxygen from the carbon, and then a single bond to a hydroxyl group. This together makes a carboxylic acid. And this hydroxyl group, this hydrogen can dissociate, separate from this, and leave this negatively charged, and the hydrogen will be positively charged. So it's called propanoic acid in its full written form, propanoic acid or propionic acid. They're the same thing. Lots of chemicals have a common name and a standardized name. Once you have the ionized form or a salt form, once the hydrogen is off of it, it'll become propionate or propanoate, okay? And now we're going to get to the good part. This is going to get good. Trust me, I'm showing you something really cool here. When you eat fiber, the dietary fiber goes to the good gut bacteria. And those are, with a smile here, because they do good things for you. They convert the fiber into short-chain fatty acids, most importantly butyrate. You always hear me talking about butyrate. It's the most important one because it goes to the gut lining cells called the enterocytes. They're called enterocytes because the gut's called the enteric tract, and they use the butyrate to make TJs, tight junctions, and that prevents bad things from getting across your gut. It prevents leaky gut. The butyrate also, some of it goes into the blood and it goes up to the brain, to the blood-brain barrier, and it's used by the blood-brain barrier endothelial cells to make tight junctions up there. So it protects both your gut barrier and your brain barrier. And if you're a stupid chump who eats a paleo, keto, carnivore diet, you don't get enough fiber. There's no fiber in animal foods, there's very little in processed foods, and you're going to have a much higher risk of leaky gut and leaky blood-brain barrier. So anyways, that's butyrate, wonderful, it's magnificent, okay, that's what it does. But you also produce 2-carbon acetate, and that's sort of like the building block for acetyl-CoA. We all know about that for metabolic processes like generating energy in mitochondria. Also can be used to build fats. Okay, but here's what we want to talk about. It also makes 3-carbon propionate. When I learned about 3-carbon propionate, propanoic acid, same thing, I initially thought it's just going to be used to make occasional odd-numbered chain fatty acids. It can also be used, you stick 2 of them together, you can make a glucose for gluconeogenesis to produce glucose in the liver. That's nice, but I always thought propionate was no big deal. I never thought about it much. All right. And again, the first thing these things do is they're going to travel through the portal vein up to the liver. If you have leaky gut, then you get bacterial toxins in the blood. Those will cause amyloid clotting. You get big chunks of protein coming in. And those can cause autoimmune disease by molecular mimicry with subsequent autoantibody cross-reactivity. I give an entire lectures on all this stuff, so if you just search in the browser under my YouTube channel for autoimmunities, all that stuff. You can find that if you want. Okay, but we're going to focus on Propionic because I'm about to announce something big here. I just had to give you, this is all the build-up, the backstory. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay, just a little more backstory that we know that these bacterial endotoxins, if you got leaky gut, they can get across the gut barrier and they can cause distortion of fibrinogen blood clotting protein and change it from alpha helix like a cylinder, like a slinky, into beta pleated sheet. And then the hydrogen bonds, instead of holding the molecule in the alpha configuration, will bind between the different separate molecules of fibrinogen to cause beta pleated sheets. They stack up like a deck of cards, increasing the molecular weight of the individual molecule, so it precipitates in aqueous solution, which means water, which means plasma, meaning it forms a blood clot, and that's bad. Okay. But I had to go through all this, and free iron will do the same thing. But I'm getting to something big. I promise you, this is a big thing I'm about to tell you. So here's the paper. Calcium propionate is a very popular supplement for dairy cows. And you know why? Because propionate, propanoic acid, it kills fungi. Do you understand what a big statement that is? It kills fungi. And by killing fungi, what did we just talk about is thought to be the cause of cancer? Fungal infection taking over mitochondrial injured cells. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful if you had something in your body that could generate a chemical that was safe for you but killed fungi? Well, it looks like that's what the good gut bacteria are doing with the dietary fiber that you eat. So in cattle, the calcium propionate is used successfully by the cells of the cow to make gluconeogenesis, to make glucose. So it's happy with the propionate, but it kills the fungi. That's big. This is big stuff here, okay? This might be why dietary fiber, one of the reasons why it dramatically lowers your risk of cancer. So this is just a diagram showing you the things that calcium propionate does in dairy cows, okay? It is taken up and it dissociates, and it'll kill the bacteria, preventing bacterial infections. It'll kill the fungi. This should be anti-mycotic. It'll kill the fungi, okay, preventing mycotoxins. You know, it prevents spoilage of food too. But then it can also be used for gluconeogenesis to make glucose. Okay, so this is a big deal, what I just told you. I don't know if you understand how big a deal this is. What I basically just did was explain to you the potential mechanism by which dietary fiber prevents cancer and can help treat cancer. That's a big statement, a really big statement. Anyways, I hope you found it helpful.